Well, look at that red. You can see that, can't you? Yeah. Well, the rooster got me up at, what's it, 5:15? Yeah, we got some red. And that dang rooster. My rooster woke me up too. Booger. Ooh, something on the roof. Probably a rat. Look, kitty. Well, I don't have any milk, and I can't have cocoa unless I have some milk. So I'm gonna. There she goes. She goes right up there ahead of me. All right, so we're gonna set this right here. Hook the chain up. Slide the bucket in. Wipe the udders. Nice and clean. Wipe my hands again. Wash my hands before I come out, but wipe them again with the sanding wipes. Yeah, girl. I need milk for my cocoa. I was going to go to town today, primarily for milk at this point, because since I'm not milking her every day, that's the one thing I need more often than anything else. There is no alternative for milk. I did all the box things, and they don't taste like this. I mean, God, you get spoiled. Hoo-yah! Boy, get tougher when they don't get done every day. I think I did a few days ago, but now I just gave her grain. And when you give them grain, that translates to milk. So, I may get back on the... If I did it every other day, that would be perfect. Every day is kind of It's nice to have a day you can skip, because being attached to the farm by the hip, milking twice a day for 3 years, that was like, you had a party. Up, gotta go now. Gotta milk the goat. Oh, you need more, baby? Okay. Hang on. Whoa, you ate that fast. Here, have a cube. Wait a minute. There we go. Yeah, there you go. She went through that grain really fast. Faster than I could milk it. And gobbles up the grain. It's a special. There we go. I think we got you. Alright, you got it all. Good girl, that's enough. That won't be enough for a milkshake though, tonight. But it will get me through the morning. See if any of my friends are going to town. Alright, girl, come on. Grab that cube. Let's go. Grab it. You got it. Alright, girl. Tomatoes are getting almost as tall as me. Good, Mango. Alright. Then you filter it through the screen to catch any hair. Give me a whole pint. Good girl, huh? Other than that, I'll give to the kitty. Kitty loves goat milk. Yeah, kitty. Dad, I'll take care of the milk can for you. Huh, kitty? Aloha! What'd you say, Jasper? Go lay on the bed. Go on. Go lay down. You're nuts, Jasper. Aren't you gonna photobomb? Come on. Come on. Over here. Come here. There you go. Watch out. Watch it. Watch it. Watch out for the. Watch out. Move your things. Sam. Don't knock. You're gonna knock over this little stool, son. All right. That's good. That's a good boy. You stay right there. Oh, and look, on cue. Oh, that's my kitty. Right on cue. We should be expecting, I won't say his name because he has supersonic ears, but he's probably going to come around. So, what's this morning about? Oh, the news is really bugging me. And I got to thank you guys because you're keeping me from watching more news. I used to watch these guys on RT. I started watching RT when I really quit Facebook because of all the news stations that were filtering through the feed there. That was the one that I was kept going back to because they kept having interviews with ex-CIA agents and people that are pulling the pants down on the government. Stone, Oliver Stone's kid, Sean Stone, and the other guy on Watching the Hawks, Jesse Ventura's son. But these are kids, so the governor's son is kind of a pampered kid, so he's like the trust fund baby who's going out and demonstrating, even though they go home to 1,000 count silk sheets. But historically they didn't live a lot of the stuff, so they're only getting secondhand information. It's different when you're in 1971 and what's on the the newspaper back then and the Tet Offensive and all that shit. You're in it. Well, I wasn't in it. I was smart enough to stay out of it. But the news now, I mean, it's just this Trump-Putin drama. Hillary's still, and the DNC still trying to impeach. This is all political theater while they just screw us. That's all it is. It's a circus. And I like to say, not my monkeys, not my circus, because I'm over here in Hawaii. But there's nothing that can happen by this country that doesn't affect everybody on the planet in some way. I don't buy a lot of China stuff, so him making tariffs with China, I could care less. I'm not buying, China products. That's for sure. And that came from the '60s, and when you dropped and you were into nature and antiques and wood, glass, metal, not plastic. In fact, the whole thing was anti-plastic because that's when the plastic money came in. When I was a teenager, Bank of AmeriCard and MasterCard and Visa were, and then Discover, they were all just starting out, and that was like, the beginning of plastic money. I was against plastic money then because it was all, part of the Orwellian dystopian nightmare. Going to the RFID chips. That's what the raised chip in your credit card is. I don't want one. I mean, it's not like they don't know who I am and where I am. That's the furthest thing from reality. They know all about me, and I have a long history with the government since the first hitchhiking ticket in high school. I was living on my own. But that's another story. I wanted to rant about the news. I'm really and I'm an equal opportunity yeah, you could say hater on Trump and Hillary. They're equally as psychotic and manic, and they care about no one but furthering their narcissistic ego. It's just, jeez, it's so disgusting that this is what rules our country. It's just, you know, majority of the people don't vote because I think the majority of the people are waking up, and that's the silent majority that's not Republican and is definitely not Democrat. You know, most Democrats don't know that the Democrats were the slave owners and the oppressors, and the Republicans with Lincoln, you know, anti-slave. It's, you know, and the Democrats now are all for the downtrodden and the minorities. What a flip-flop, crazy, insane manipulation of reality purported as truth. And still, this day, in our schools, fed down our kids' throats that propaganda. If I had kids today, homeschool would be the only way. I would not let them get programmed by the state or by a private religious entity or a guru camp. I mean, all these private schools are all under someone's personal agenda, and you know, they have great ability to control the whole tenor of their campus with little oversight, as long as the kids test out well. Teaching as a subversive activity. That was one book I read once. But nah, I don't know if I'd be a good teacher. Definitely not a shop teacher. I have little patience when it comes to people with no common sense, and they can get hurt really fast if they don't listen. So like with some of these kids, I get short with them, and they take that as an attack. Even if I apologize later for being short, it's like, because, you know, in the next second or two, you could have lost a finger, and then we would have had a whole different other drama, and, you know, so I have to say, stop, huh, kitty? Oh, but my God, I am definitely easier than many of the bosses and professors and parents that I had. I'm strict, but not as strict as my grandma. So anyway, this whole news, mainstream media farce, CBS versus Fox versus RT. Now, RT will have anybody on, but those other two, or the ABC or NBC, any of those, you can't, or CNN, you cannot go on there without them knowing what you're going to say. There's a delay for, you know, if you swear, and it's all scripted questions. They even do a pre-interview before they do the interview, and then they edit it anyway. They're so manipulative. It's just like, I don't know why people don't like dump their TV in droves. It's like watching QVC. It's all commercials with bullshit lies in between. It's just messes me up when I see that stuff. But I watch it for like 20 minutes at 4:20, so I can tolerate it, just to see what they're feeding down the populace's throat, so I can, you know, be aware of how dumb the population's getting. The apathy is just blows me away. I love it when RT walks on the street in New York and does the random stranger and asks them questions, you know, and they like, you know, other people do this too, just not RT. Anybody can do this. Anybody with a camera and a recorder can walk down the street and ask somebody to name me a country that begins with U. Uganda, Uzbekistan. Well, what about the one you're standing in? Oh yeah, yeah, United States. Yeah, I love those Johnny on the street things. I would do that, but I'd laugh too much. I'd, you know, pee my pants. My little brother and I used to do stuff like that. I'll tell you about those stories sometimes. My little brother Benji, who's passed already, he was a character. So what news I do like? I like Chris Hedges. And when Lavrov speaks, you know, that guy's a diplomat. He's not a warmonger. Like John Bolton, Dan Coates. Oh, CIA election meddling is what the CIA was started for. You know, was America's election meddling in other countries. That was what it. Check it out. It's inception. And we're complaining about the DNC, and give me a break. And some Facebook or some tweets, some Facebook bots. Hey, anybody that's still on Facebook and voting don't have a clue. The vote is so manipulated. Watch the documentary on Democracy Hijacked, or Hijacking Democracy. One of those. It was they do that. They were doing that documentary during the Bush election, and they were in Florida and found the election returns in the trash can. That stuff's all supposed to be under lock and key. They did the whole thing. They were doing the documentary, and then the election, and that whole thing started. So that it just the Diebold machines and the manipulated vote. It's so fake. To even participate in it is un-American. A true patriot doesn't vote because it's a sham. If you vote, you're co-signing the sham. You're co-signing the rape of the world. You're co-signing the military-industrial complex. You're co-signing murder, your genocide, false flags, Israel's agenda. It's, if you vote, you're a traitor. Oh, did I say that? Until we can have the vote back, until corporate personhood is taken away from them, because they are soulless and they don't live and breathe and bleed. So why should your children live and breathe and bleed and die for them? And because their votes count, yours don't. You don't have 6 zeros after your vote. So, you know, what are people worried about? Amazon Prime Day. What the huh? Yeah. And the media, you know, CBS gets on there and calls Russia the amoral thug country, the despot ruler. You know, whenever I see Putin, he sure does act more composed, and you've never seen him get stupid like Trump, I tell you, or Bush, or any other talking heads. Remember Ronnie Reagan? When Ronnie Reagan was the puppet, I called him Howdy Doody because he had that jaw just like that and the rosy cheeks, and you could swear whoever's standing behind him was holding his strings. Well, I think that's a great deal, and we're going to have Reaganomics. And that was the beginning of the end. You know, deregulating, let the banks run free, steal it all for the oligarchy. That's, you know, it's disgusting. And all the propaganda news just, you know, they just pump it and pump it. Especially in, you know, even when they did Hawaii and the reporting on the lava, it was vehement. It was angry lava. It was relentless, angry lava, and it had a will all of its own. Yeah, well, not like a wildfire that goes over the hill and up the valley and through the next town. Lava just, you know, goes downhill to the water. Psh, easy peasy, get out the way. You know, it's going to make a river. You know, same thing with the Mississippi River. The Mississippi River changes course, or it did, until man harnessed it, until that big snowfall and the flood comes down, and the river says, I mean, there's no difference between a river of water coming through your house or fire. You drown in either one. Dead is dead. So, you know, it's not red against blue, or, you know, Republicrats. And it's not conservative and libtard. It's the 1% versus the world. But Americans got to really realize that when the rest of the world comes to the realization that the 5% versus the rest of the world, then America's in the 5%. That's you and me and everyone that can jingle a coin in their pocket and have a nice warm bed to sleep in at night, and shoes, and not only shoes, but a choice of which shoes to wear. And, you know, you got a cell phone, $1,000, you know, dumb phone in your pocket. It's, yeah, it's crazy. It's too crazy. Well, let me have some cocoa here before it gets cold. Take a breath, Peter. Goat milk this morning. I did a little shot. We went and milked goat this morning because I ran out of the store milk. I don't like the organic store milk because I've been having more phlegm. That's what I think. That's the new, and that's the thing. What's new that causes me having this more phlegm? It's the cow milk from. It's organic, but still, I guess I'll have to get to 2%. Goat milk. I don't do anything with the fat, but even I guess raw goat milk with fat is not as fat as cow milk. It's just right. Goat milk is moderation. Just right. And you got to think that humans have been, you know, drinking goat milk a lot longer probably than they have cow milk. Especially domesticated cows. Because, you know, all the nomads out there and, the, you know, the goat herders. Hello. And, I guess if you had yaks, you know, you were a yak herder, I guess you had yak milk. I don't think the Africans were milking giraffes. Maybe the Watusi tribe did. Get that? Anyway, these guys with this fake DNC hacking stuff, we need to end the fake two-party system. I mean, they handcuffed Jill Stein to a chair at the DNC because they were afraid if she got up there and spoke the truth, she'd make them idiots. I mean, she's a doctor. She saves lives. Hillary takes lives. I mean, do people realize that? I know, Jasper. Do they understand that? I don't think they do. They believe TV too much, and they believe their preacher too much, because all that God and country and the flyover, the NASCAR, and the Star Spangled Banner, and all that patriot. That's just like what Hitler did, you know, patriotism, blind, fake patriotism. That's not patriotism. Patriotism is saying open. What the hell happened at 911? That fake investigation you did was fake. Let's get some information from professionals around the world. Did you test for bomb residue? No. No. Well, then I guess you didn't find any. Those that did found some. It's just, it's, God, you know, how do we get out of this movie? You want to wake up. Or it's a nightmare, is what it is. I mean, I'm living in a dream. As long as I don't turn on the outside window to what's going on in the world. Something said for living in the bliss. But still have a pack of Great Danes. Deterrent is the best defense. But, oh, Jasper, look at all these flies. We gotta put some fly paper out here or something. We need to have a fly paper decorative flower thing. Those jars that, you know, that's no good. Fly paper is not so bad. But you need something lower to the ground because the flies. See, it's funny to watch, and I don't know if he'll come here, but the geckos will come up on Jasper's butt and eat the flies when he's sleeping. And if I'm not sitting out here. So, and if I go inside, he's going to go inside. So, anyway, I think the news rant is predicated on people's education. If they were raised on TV and that's their education, well, then they're going to believe the so-called news. If they've ever gone to a college that was free thinking, which is kind of hard to find. Having been to a bunch of colleges, I can see the differences in them, mostly because of their geographical location and the mindset of where they happen to be. But there are, if you seek them out, there are those professors who are not a product of their location. Like in Tulane, I had third in the world architectural preservation and restoration. Donald Del Cid was a professor. I mean, this guy, you know, in South America restoring cathedrals, and, you know, it's just a broad scope of education. Most people have a expertise in a field, and that's it. One field, their life. So that's when they lose their job, they have to be retrained. For me, it's always been how many skills or fields can you know that you can master. Not a jack of all trades, a master of many trades. That's better than being a jack of all. I mean, I guess I can jack around the wrench part, huh? I can jack around the truck, but I can't do what mechanics do who can troubleshoot. I can do a lot. I mean, I pick up from all the different mechanics I've had, you know, especially Dave. And it's been an education, building your own vehicle and maintaining your own vehicle, and deciding who you will let touch your vehicle. Because I've known more than some people that have come over here with as bad a set of tools as mine. And I let them do an easy job first to see how they work and pick their brain and see how much their knowledge is. And that's what I do with other things too. And there's only a couple people that I have found that, you know, and they're both helicopter mechanics, ex-military, both of them. Oh, and my young Russian mechanic Vladimir, he's good too. He's got great potential. He'll be like those other guys in another 10, 20 years. He's 30, in his late 30s. John's in his 50s. He's 10 years younger, and Dave's about a year younger than me. Not too many old people I can go to for any more knowledge. They're not around. I'm outliving them. Alright, well, I think this is long enough, so that's it for the morning wake and bake. I did a work trade video yesterday after I put the animals out, so I'll tag that on the back of that. It's the story of my helpers. And that's it from the pond side wake and bake. Hooey ho! Okay. Cubes for the horse to get the goat out. It's good it's kind of neat having a your own milk machine. I'm putting on my Uggs. We had a little rain last night. I don't wear my Uggs too often, but it's not swampy enough for rubber boots. So, oh, look at that guy. Sweet. I didn't see that this morning when I was out looking at the red sky. So we do the milk. Set that right there. Take the wipes to wipe the booters right there. Fold the chair down. Take the cubes out. Dump the stuff. She's gonna love it. And then save a couple cubes and take one for Mango. Alright, I'll be back.